So we are now inside the gallery, and this month, well, Jessie, why don't you take it away? Why don't you tell us what we're looking at?
Thank you so much, Beth. We're excited to show people
Oh,
inside.
introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Jessie, and I am a founding member of LexSeeHer. We're working to make women in Lexington visible. We are going to talk about the Monument Project, but first, celebrating Black History Month. Let me show you a little bit here. Margaret Tulip was a woman who lived in Lexington in the 1700s. She was born to a woman named Kate in Charlestown, who was enslaved. When she was 3 weeks old, she was given away. When she was 5 months old, she was actually traded for a horse to someone. And then she was given as a wedding present to Amos Muzzy and his wife Esther Green. So at this time, Black women who were enslaved were property. And she was given to the husband because women at the time couldn't own property. So once they were married, she was actually enslaved by Amos Muzzy. However, she reached legal freedom in her 20s and then later was re-enslaved. She brought her case to court and she won.
Wow.
So this is called a freedom suit. And we got really inspired at LexSeeHer when we heard this story because it tells the story of one person experiencing different aspects of freedom and liberty. And of course in Lexington we celebrate freedom, and we're the birthplace of American freedom.
Right.
But so we ended up with a group of volunteers and community members gathering together to make a dress. And our idea was, how can we help people really understand women in the past were real people, just like you and me. Like they were super real. They got up in the morning, they had the tours, they had kids. And so my mom actually, Corinne, volunteered to sew the dress.
Wow.
And then other volunteers stepped in to help make the petticoat, which you can't quite see, and this beautiful apron. And Amelia Worthy and Celeste Freeman, who co-curated the show. Amelia has volunteered to sort of become Margaret Tulip at some events.
Oh,
so people can kind of meet Margaret, which will be exciting.
That will be exciting.
And the dress is just beautiful. Amelia really wanted to represent Margaret after she won her case.
Right.
Suppose she was going to court, suppose she was going to church as a free woman. She would dress her best, and we wanted to present her with dignity.
Nice. And then I see here that there is, this is young artists' work.
Yes. Again, helping really imagine what was Margaret like as a real person. Students, here you're seeing students from Hastings and from Diamond Middle School.
Wow.
And obviously we've got an amazing art program.
Very talented. So middle schoolers did that. Wow.
Yeah, actually these are elementary students.
Wow.
And then over here we have some middle school student work, and they're imagining what was Margaret like? What was she like as a toddler, a baby, or when she got to be a grown-up?
That's so beautiful.
It's so moving. Yeah. It really is. And then we were imagining, in the winter, people were wearing wool. We had a sunny, warm day today, but when it's 21 degrees out, you're gonna layer up.
That would be nice.
Exactly. And then Marcia Baker, who's a reenactor here, loaned us this amazing cloak that she wears at the tea burning events.
Nice.
And so we've had a lot of fun learning about women then in the next 100-year period. And so Mary Elizabeth Bibb, she went to the normal school over on the corner by the green there.
Okay.
And after she graduated, she went on to become a teacher, a journalist, a newspaper publisher, and she worked with her husband Henry to end slavery. She really played a major role in welcoming people into Canada, where she ultimately had to move because her husband was an escaped slave.
Oh. Okay.
So she was in Lexington a short time, but her role as a teacher just stayed with her whole life.
Nice.
Which is pretty amazing. And then we also talk about more contemporary women in Lexington, like Leona Martin. Really important woman who has done so much to advocate locally and was the first Black woman to be elected to a town-wide position. So some Girl Scouts, you probably saw these banners up in the town. Some Girl Scouts worked on the art of the silhouette to represent lots of different women.
Oh, look at them all.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
They dressed up and they did these profiles. And what we love so much is the Historical Society has loaned us real silhouettes from the 1800s, and we can kind of think about this art form. And actually they just did a workshop at Buckman Tavern.
Wow.
Where people could come in and make their own silhouette. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And then altogether for us, this is really giving us more understanding of real women.
Right.
Like, what if we were born then?
Oh, Thank God we weren't.
Yeah, well, I feel like, right? I mean, as a realtor,
Right?
you couldn't own a house. So.
Right, I know. So that puts me out. I'd be back to the chicken.
Exactly, right?
So.
And then if we can, we'll just show you the monument for a second.
Oh, awesome. We'd love to see it. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. I know, I didn't get down when it was up in town, which is a bummer because I really, so, all right, tell us about the monument. This is exciting.
So we wanted to make women visible with a work of public art, and we had a national contest with amazing artists, really well-known, prominent people, and Meredith Bergman's design won the day. It blew us away because you can see it has many women in it from across time, and so you have, here's Margaret Tulip, who we've been talking about today, but we also have Ruth Morey, back to back with Marge Batten, women from a more contemporary time period. And then here's Mary Elizabeth Bibb we were just talking about. Here's some blow-ups. These are only sketches.
Right.
These will actually be done as like full portraits in bronze. So completely different. It's gonna take a year for Meredith to do that level of work. And people who are curious, they can visit LexSeeHer.com and you can look up Meredith Bergman. She did the Boston Women's Memorial.
Wow.
She did the new Monument to Women in Central Park that was unveiled in 2020. So to say we're excited doesn't really say enough. Like, it's just amazing. And you'll be able to, like, these will be silhouettes, as we talked about silhouettes on that wall. These will be like the outline, and you can see through.
Right.
Just so
yeah, it
beautiful.
was really beautiful when they did the mock-up. So, and you're still looking for contributions.
We are.
Correct?
We are still looking for contributions. We're still raising money. We're going to have this on a plaza that will welcome people with all abilities. It's going to have resting places, so people who have a hard time getting around can make it there and then rest and really take in the women. It's an elegant design that has the spinning wheel motif, and maybe another time we'll visit the site of the spinning protest
That would
with
be
you
nice,
and talk about that. Also, lovely, these are my flowers, and we have other animals.
I like the ant, like, it's really quite complex, right? Like, as you look at it more and more, you see more and more things. It's very pretty.
Exactly, she's got like little butterflies.
Right, the butterfly and the owl, I'm just noticing, so, yeah.
And not everybody knows, this is Eliza Fallon, if you've heard of Fallon Church. She actually took the story of the 3 little kittens that we learned when we were kids. She's the first person who turned them into like people-like creatures.
Oh, okay.
And so there's a little kitten who found its mitten.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, a lot of work went into it, a lot of thoughtful work.
It is, and we really like that, again, because it's Black History Month, she has room for many Black women here. So it's not just Margaret Tulip and Mary Elizabeth Bibb, but Sylvia Farrell-Jones is in here, and there's also a representation of Phoebe Bannister-Berdew, whose son went on to serve with Captain Parker, and a representation of that separation between mother and child when women were enslaved. So it's got a lot of layers of celebration, but also some of the hardships and challenges that women have had to overcome for hundreds of years.
Wow.
So it's really, it's a pretty, it's a special project.
Incredible. Yeah,
We're so grateful that Lex Art made it possible for us to kind of show people.
Right.